Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Daily Roy. Yesterday, I asked on my Instagram story for some fitness questions from y'all to be able to make this video. So if you guys haven't already followed my Instagram, be sure to do so, as I love doing these. I love being able to truly, gauge what y'all are wondering about and be able to give you, honest answers about them. And so I'm literally just going to pick some questions, say the names, say the questions, give you my thoughts on them, all while you watch me work out. First one comes from Vance. I'm 6'5", 160. Flex, awesome. I play a sport super competitively and often find myself too tired to go to the gym. What should I do to find the consistency to go and then have energy at the gym without abusing caffeine? So for me, I mean, the consistency thing kind of was just a mentality shift. I literally was driven, 2 years ago to just start. I had done on again, off again at the gym. I had several workout partners that tried to get me in, and I never worked out for longer than 3 months. And mainly because I didn't see the results as fast as I wanted to. And obviously it comes down to how much work are you going to be able to put in before you really, start being happy with the results that you're seeing. And for me, it didn't happen fast enough, and so I ultimately gave up. But I didn't care. Honestly, 2 years ago, I literally was like, you know what? I'm ready to finally look better, feel my best self. I want to be strong. I've used this, I guess, scene before in one of my big motivators for wanting to get in the gym. People used to wrap their whole hand around my arm. Like, my arm was so skinny that people could touch, their index finger to their thumb around my arm. And that always just bothered me. I was like, I'd hate that. And, I was an athletic guy. I loved playing sports and everything, and specifically baseball. And, you didn't have to be super strong to play baseball. It was more about technique and form and all that. So that's why it just was never a priority. But then once that ultimately, died off and I started pursuing other things and even just having a online presence, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to look better. And that's not to say, again, that like I didn't look good then. It's just, it's all subjective. It's all about what you want to see. It's like, I personally wondered, what would it look like if I put on another 30 pounds? What would it look like with some muscle, And so that's the motivation that kept me going. It got me past that 3-month, benchmark. And now I've been going on for two years now, and I love it. And I'm seeing good progress. And it feels healthy and real. I am Aiden says, genuine question, what workouts should I be doing to lose a good amount of fat? The fat burning is not my expertise. I'll be honest. I just want that to be out there for first and foremost. Because I've been working in the opposite manner for the last 2 years, I've been trying to put on weight. I am not the best person to ask about losing fat, besides the things that I've learned, frankly, from Alex, from other TikTokers, that they suggest being in a caloric deficit, which means you have to track your meals, you have to find out your macros, which I've talked about in other videos, and then walking. A lot of these guys do an incline walk, on whatever it is, 10 speed, 3 incline, you name it, for 30, 45 minutes a day, and they really start to see the burn. But again, this is not something I can speak from experience, and so I can only kind of direct you to their ideas. Sharon Justin says, any advice on how to manage time with school, working out, my girlfriend, and a job? Honestly, that sounds like a ton. It sounds a lot like what I was doing in college. I was involved in 2 organizations. I obviously was, a part-time student with, 15 hours. I was trying to run my full-time YouTube channel and streaming at the time. And then I also played intramural sports. And so I felt super duper busy. Ultimately, the things that suffered were my social life a little bit, and then grades. I went from being a straight A student to suddenly getting B's, and something's got to give, right? If you're going to pursue everything, you're either going to only have enough time and energy to be able to, dedicate an average amount of whatever to everything, and which is good. If you can get to everything, that's awesome. It means you might not sleep as much as you want, or it means you might not hang out with as many people as you want. There's something that's going to have to give. And so you kind of just have to prioritize what's most important to you, whether that's, the girlfriend and the job, or, the girlfriend and work, or working out. It's like you got to decide for yourself. But for me, again, a lot of the questions that I'm seeing as just a general theme, people want to know how to be motivated. And it's really tough to get into that state of being fully motivated to something, because there's just so many hurdles, there's so many obstacles, doubts, fears, anxieties, stress. Like all of that is just going to creep in eventually, and that's what derails us in achieving that long-term dream of whatever we're pursuing. It's a daily grind. You got to get up with the mentality of, I am going to excel in whatever that goal is. For me, with the working out, I literally told myself I'm going to go to the gym every single day. Like there has to be a change, and I know that some days it sucks. Some days it's leg day, and that sucks, right? But you make that decision because you ultimately care more about the goal, more about that long-term dream that you have, than the amount of work it's going to cost you, to put in. Eventually, especially when talking about working out, you get addicted to it. For me, I really don't see going to the gym as this hassle. Frankly, I plan a lot of my stuff around the gym. More often than not, something else gets dropped because, oh, I didn't get my workout in, so I have to get that in. It's kind of like a good have to, it's like, that's where I want to be. And that's just something that'll eventually happen for you. If you keep up with this type of thing, those types of priorities, those dreams that you want to make real for your life will be worth the amount of hard work that it takes to achieve them. Drew Zimlicka says, what are your favorite healthy snacks? Well, I'm bulking right now, so I wouldn't say I have healthy snacks besides bagels, and I do Oikos Pro yogurt that's packed with protein. So I do 2 of those, and then I put some almond oats on top, which is also 10 grams of protein. So it's a little heavy sometimes, I will say. So, especially with the calorie thing, I think it's like around 600 calories and 50 grams of protein. So it's not really a snack by any means, because I treat it as my full-time or my full breakfast. But I'd say bagels. If anything, I'd go with bagels because I need the carbs, and that's always been a huge go-to. I eat them out the sleeve though, which might be a little bit weird for some people. I don't even toast them. I don't put cream cheese or anything like that. I literally just eat them straight out of the sleeve, and it's fantastic. Noah Johnson 6 says, in your video, can you run through dieting and how to eat a lot of protein in a bulk or cut? So I've gone through my diet in a handful of older YouTube videos. If you want to check those out, I kind of dive into the breakout of my macros and using the MyFitnessPal app. A lot of it is simply, especially since I haven't cut yet, I've only been bulking, or at least trying to. I have just tried to consume as many like healthy foods to a certain extent as I can, right? I didn't want to dirty bulk and have like a super fluffy phase. I don't know how much weight I could really put on in a given month, but what I know is what I see in the mirror, and obviously what I see on the scale. And for me, if I'm progressing 2 to 3 pounds a month, I'm pretty happy with that. That being said, it's always been hard for me because I do deal with a lot of stomach issues, and so there are days where I simply cannot eat. And when you're looking at bulking or cutting, I'd say most of these fitness influencers would say that you need to be looking at your caloric intake on a weekly basis, because again, you're gonna have days where you can't eat, or days that you eat in excess, right? And so there are sometimes these outliers that you might feel like will skew your results, but you have to kind of be looking at it from a full week's perspective. And so that to say, never get down if you have a cheat meal, or if you can't eat one day and think that that's gonna mess up your bulk or cut. I think you have to look at it from a bigger weekly standpoint. Griffin Kliniski says, I'm 16 and shorter. Any tips or workout routines to get my arms bigger? My arms, I'd say, aren't the best. My shoulders have developed a lot faster than any other part of my arm, so I'm very grateful for that. But for me, I've kind of just been doing a lot of isolated cable work for my arms. The cables have been a huge friend for me simply because there's just constant resistance, right? So when you're lifting a dumbbell, once you get past that point where gravity is no longer taking its full effect, and you've kind of gotten the weight above its true resistance point, you're obviously not fighting that weight anymore. And so cables have been a huge help for me, and I've been pushing myself to get to that burning feeling in my arms, which I know a lot of people will get like their 10 rep thing and be like, all right, that's good for that set. I truly believe that the best arm workouts that have gotten my I guess my arms to my current state have been because I've started implementing more lifts where I'm getting to that point of the arm is truly on fire. You know, I'm not just trying to get 4 sets of 10. You know, I'm pushing myself to where I can no longer feel my arm in most cases, and that's kind of been good for me. I'm gonna say Gabe Locust says, are Nova Pros good for the gym? I don't wear mine. I think they're a little too big of a headphone for the gym, so that's why I stick with my Raycon earbuds. I've been using them for 4 years, and so that's still my go-to. Ray Panapasta says, how do I look as good as you? I appreciate that. Honestly, it is dedication, getting yourself to the gym every single day, not quitting when it's hard, eating your food. I mean, the whole protein thing, the whole 1 gram of protein per pound that you weigh, there were so many friends that I had at the gym that didn't realize how little protein they were truly consuming on a daily basis. And so if you have no idea how much you're intaking, you got to be tracking that. You got to figure out, okay, how far off was I? Did I actually meet my goals? That's the number one thing that I would say for anyone to try and just start building muscle, is that you have to fuel your body. You're tearing it down in the gym, and it needs the building blocks to be able to repair those muscles and give them the fuel that they need. And so for me, I now eat anywhere from probably 190 grams to 220 grams of protein every single day, and that's my priority. Like, regardless if I hit my calorie goals or, you know, carbs or fats or whatever, like the main one I focus on is making sure that my muscles are never deprived of the amount of protein intake that they need. So you can always do protein shakes. Thankfully, I don't rely on protein shakes anymore. I consume enough protein dense foods to be able to meet my goals. The number one cheat code being truly the Oikos Pro yogurts. You know, starting my day with 50 grams of protein is fantastic. Alex A official says, if I show up at SI as elite Tachanka arm wrestle ? I am down. If you're cosplaying as Tachanka, I'm probably going to be humbled really quick, but I'm down to at least give you that battle. 999.x.starboy says, what's the best way to start, and how can you make a good workout plan if you're new? For me, I had a workout partner, and I think that's something that everyone needs, especially at the beginning, because it is so daunting to go to the gym by yourself, sign up by yourself, sit on machines that you have no idea how to really do. Especially if it comes to free weights, you're not sure, like, is my form okay? Are people judging me? All that stuff, right, is going to be terrifying to a newbie. And so I would definitely get someone to go with you, right? Second thing is observe others. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to others, but look at others in the sense that you need to see what other people are doing to take mental notes for your workouts as well, right? At the end of the day, everyone's there in the gym to make themselves better. We're not there to compare, where we are to other people's progress, because that is the devil telling you to not be, grateful for what you have or to be content. And so don't listen to those lies, but never be afraid to seek help. I think some of the coolest moments for me working out have been guys coming up to me asking for either advice or help or whatever. To me, I've loved those moments, because I've been like, oh my gosh, someone sees me as, potentially having it together or having an answer to one of their problems. And that has been so cool for me. And so genuinely, you might make someone's day by asking a question of hey, what's the proper form for this? Or how do I actually use this machine? Puerto Rican Gamer says, what energy supplements do you use? So I'm currently off creatine. I've been off creatine for a couple of months now. I have coffee before I work out, but I no longer take pre-workout, just personal choice. Nothing wrong with it at all. My trainer just was wary of the amount of caffeine that I was drinking per day and said, hey, I think you could cut this out. Personally, I didn't feel a difference when I took the pre-workout out of my, workout mix. I drink Gatorade and whey protein mixed up together in a shaker bottle during the workout, and then I eat a bagel and I eat some protein after. But besides that, I take a multivitamin, and that's about it. So I am not I'm not on anything, and I'm on the very, very bare minimum. Nico Sven says, I feel like my biceps are huge compared to other muscles. Should I stop pumping them? That's up to you. For me, I think my chest is my dominant feature on my physique. That being said, I love hitting chest. There hasn't been a single day that I've thought, maybe I should hit chest lighter to allow everything else to catch up. Frankly, our genetics are all different and our insertions are all different as well. And so, you know, some areas of your body are going to grow faster than others. Some are going to look cooler than others, right? And so, yeah, you can always train the other muscle groups harder, but I don't think you have to necessarily halt or even slow down the training to your biceps. Dylan says, what is your favorite workout? I love flat bench. Flat bench has always been just that one thing that I've wanted to be really good at and really strong at. Chest days are my favorite by far. I don't know why. I just always had this connection when I was trying out working out at the gym. Most of my days would end up being chest days because I was just comfortable with the type of workout. And, you know, thankfully it's a strength of mine and I love it. Ace or whatever says, how do you get rid of the popping in the wrists when lifting? Mine do that. So that's why I literally wear wrist wraps. It does not matter the day. It could be a leg day. I will wear wrist wraps mainly because of that. I broke both wrists in high school, and I just naturally have skinnier wrists where the bone or whatever, the little bump on your wrist is sticking out a lot more. And that being said, they do crack and pop a lot. I have no idea why or what that is, but I wear wrist wraps to kind of tolerate it because I had a lot of pain if I worked out with heavy weights. And so I'd recommend getting some wrist wraps. Fortunately for you, I am in development of my own. My merch line is coming out and I will be able to supply that. So if you wait here in a bit, I might be able to get you some. Carp FRS says, best time of the day to work out in your opinion? I go at noon to 1, mainly because I don't have to deal with the rush of everyone getting off of their normal jobs at like 6. So thankfully I, have a job that gives me a lot of freedom in terms of time of when to do things. And so I go middle of the day when there's less people, because less people means a happier gym experience. Final question. Rory Ep18 says, would you ever consider using PEDs? For me personally, and I cannot emphasize this enough, but personally, as a believer, I am a little bit wary of going down that route, because while I love working out and I love to obviously make myself look better and be stronger and all of that, ultimately I'm doing all of this to bring glory to God, and I don't see personally how taking stuff to make myself look better completes that mission for me. Again, that is a personal take. There are probably hundreds of Christians that are on stuff, and to each their own. I'm gonna probably pass on that, at least for now. Who knows about the future, but I think there's also something cool about just saying that you're natty. And Alex Eubank is a huge inspiration of mine. I believe he's natty, and I think that a really, really good physique is super attainable. It's just going to take more work. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and that's just not something that scares me. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, for sitting through this. It means the world that you guys even want my opinion on this type of stuff, because again, I am so new. I feel like I'm learning just as much as you guys and just kind of documenting my journey. But I love y'all. Thank you so much. I will do this again. So if you didn't get your question answered, be sure to follow me on Instagram and be ready for the next one. Take it easy.